Welcome to today's class. We have George with us. He's a very good tennis player, started 2 years ago, and he wants to work on his overhead. So first, I need to assess what he's doing and how he's doing, so I'm going to feed him a couple of balls, and then I'm going to break it down a little bit technically, and I hope I'll be able to help him today with that. So let's go. Let's start, George. Here we go.
So here we go. Ready? Come a little bit closer, George. Just a little bit closer. Have it easier with the feeding. Yeah, here we go. That's good. So we start. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. Good. Here we go. Okay, not. Give me a couple. You hit in the net more, you hit out more. In the net? More in the out, okay. Alright, let me see a couple more and then I'm gonna feed you a little bit different now. Here we go. Okay, come a little bit closer again. Closer. Here we go. And here we go. Okay. All right, so in the warm-up right now, you didn't miss too many out. You know, the first ones I fed you like nicely, you were hitting them good. So a lot of problems start to happen when we have to move back quickly, right? So when you move back, if you have to overcome a longer distance to move back, you need to make sure the first thing we do is we're in the ready position. You turn, which is good. Keep the arms up and turn. Copy me. And now when you go back, try to have the first step like a crossover, okay? But the big one, not just like getting the legs here. You need to make sure you have a good big first crossover step. So when you're here, a big one, okay? Show me how you would do. Like let the left, yes, and then you go into the shuffle. If you need to have another crossover step, if the ball is further, you're gonna add another one. So you go from the crossover into the shuffle, and then you set your back foot and plant it, and then you hit it and jump up, okay? Here we go. So I'll feed them a little bit further away. Have that first strong crossover step. Here we go. Good. All right, and again, come closer. I was too nice on this one, and again, come here. Here we go. Good. And give me one more. Come closer. Good crossover step. Very good. So when you get out back to them, you hit them pretty good. And as you see, like it is very hard when you have the crossover step to keep the arms up and the body in a good position, right? So sometimes, even on the easier one, what I saw earlier when you go back in the video is when you have the arms up, don't hold your arm down here. You're gonna lose control and power. Make sure you keep the arm a little bit higher and don't drop the racket head already down. Because when you look at the motion on the overhead, right, it's similar like the serve. The serve, you have the whole motion, and here you go straight up. But what you do on both is you need to let the arm go from here down. Like this little part here, gonna give you a lot of power, a lot of pace on the overhead, and control. So if you go up and you like this, like here, then you can't get anything from there. So I want you to copy me, hold it up like this, higher a little bit, good. Now when the ball comes down into the strike zone almost, right before it's getting there, I want you to go with the racket head a little bit in and let the arm go down, and then you shoot forward and up, okay? So you don't have the racket like here. Ready? So keep them already up. I want you to hold it. Yeah, see how yes, keep the racket head the tip points to the sky. Okay? And when it's in the right moment, that's when you drop the arm in the hat and you're gonna accelerate. Wait, you dropped it too early already. That fell down already. So when it drops already down, you lose power control, okay? Here we go. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. And when you're ready to go, you go, okay? And again, stay relaxed. Keep it up. So hold this thing up all the time until when it comes into the strike zone, you shoot out, okay? That's it. So you hold it up, and then you go. Yes. And stay relaxed. It's important. And again, hold it up. Don't drop it too early. It's dropping down. Here we go. Hold it. Good. I tell you, hold it, and go. Here we go. That was better. And then again, hold it, and then you drop it. Good. And stay relaxed. Hold it. Here we go. And again, keep that arm up, and then you drop it. Good. That was the first one. Maybe hopefully you heard it on the camera, on the sound. Did you hear? What did you hear? Solid, right? It had this pop. So on this one, that was the first overhead. The last one, guys, you can go back in the video in a second. So he was holding the racket head up, and then at the right moment, when it came right before in the strike zone, he dropped it, and then he was hitting it. So that is so important. And then obviously it's going to be harder if I move you around, or if you have to move around on the court to keep the racket head up. So that's one big thing I saw when you were warming up earlier and hitting. They were all solid. They went over, but that pop and that fast overhead with control, this one we had, only happens if you have it at the right moment and the timing is right. The tip points forward, up, and then at the right moment you go down and forward and up. And one more thing with the squeezing the racket. So make sure, because we can only transfer all the energy, right? It goes from the bottom into the smaller muscles, so the legs run the show, goes into the hand in the end, and then into the racket. If you squeeze, you lose a lot of control and power. So basically when you hit, and 10 is like squeezing it, and 0 is dropping it, you can be at 1.5, super loose. So just don't let the racket fall out of your hands. So you can even overhead with 2 fingers. All right, so to just try. Sometimes what I would do when you go to a big important tournament like the state and you're warming up, remind yourself, hold the racket in 2 fingers, like with the index and the thumb, and just go a slow overhead. Just give me a slow, easy overhead. See that? See how crispy it comes out? And that reminds us that we don't, and now on top you're gonna make me so happy, and you make my day if you're gonna have your racket head up until you start to go, even with the 2 fingers. Try, so hold it up already, don't drop it, keep it up, and then you go. And that was with 2 fingers. And that's what we have to remind ourselves always, the energy comes from being loose. You want the elasticity of the muscles work, you don't want to have anything tight when you overhead. And then your contact point was pretty good. So usually when you told me you hit out, what do we have to look at? It's the contact point, right? So a lot of players, when they hit, they have the contact point right above the hat. And when you look at the name overhead, you would think it's right above the hat. And in reality, if the camera is there, you will see the contact. My arm is going like in this line forward. So it's in front of us actually, right? So whenever you overhead and you start missing, the first thing is obviously, like Mike has said earlier when we did things, it's the feet have to always work. So when you don't get early enough back, then you're going to be in trouble, and then you're going to probably hit behind you. But when you have time, it looked great. You were hitting it in front of you. So just remember, which is going to be key, is keep those arms up, and then the ball drops down, you drop it and go for it. So did it feel better? Good. All right. I like that. Thank you, George. I appreciate that.